Hello and welcome to another Whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me for what is review number 110 and the start of a short series, a different series in which I'm looking at some world whiskies. I did one prior and I think every now and again doesn't do any harm to come back, look around the world, see what's out there because there are some great things out there. And this, in my opinion, is one of them. All the way over there in India. Well, it's all the way over there for us. Probably right beside you, wherever you are. How am I to know? Anyway, the Amrut Fusion, released by Amrut, the Amrut distillery there in Bangalore. This was released in 2009, and this bottle in particular is batch 85, released in December 2019. It is bottled at 50%, and although I haven't found any definitive proof, I am led to believe that there is no chill filtration and no colour added. If you can add any beef to those bones, please do so. Let me know in the comments section. This one is a bit of a doozy. This is made up of 25% Scotch peated malt. It goes to India. The malt goes to India, where it's worked over there. It just goes as the grain, and 75% unpeated Indian malted barley. So there's where your fusion comes in, I believe. Although we're moving away from Scotch whiskey, you can sort of, this has for me, a very definite feel of a Scotch whiskey, and I don't think it's just down to that 25% peated malt. I think the guys at Amrut, the guys and gals at Amrut, are probably working on a model. That's just my opinion. Yes, there's that 25% and 75% peated, 25% peated, 75% unpeated, and I think it's matured. I think it's matured in refill ex-bourbon casks. So 50%, as I said, a good colour. If that's natural, it is certainly a good colour. Let's get into the glass and see what it gives out. There's a reason I like this. Rich and fruity. And I would definitely, if I didn't know, I would definitely believe that there was some sherry maturation involved in this, a finish or something. There isn't, but it definitely for me noses like there is. Light whiffs of malt along with tangy, sharp, almost tropical fruit, pineapple, kiwi. I've talked about nose feel in the past. If nose feel is a thing, in this case it's thick and chewy, which chewy isn't really, I suppose, a nose feel, but it's certainly one of those whiskies that on the nose gives you the impression that the palate is going to be chewy. And, all the while all that tropical fruit and even dried fruit is playing around in there, there are hints, little whiffs of smoke, very, very faint, just hanging around in the background. For me, it's that thick, fruity thing is the big draw here. I mean, we're off to a good start on the nose, we really are. Lovely, unctuous, sweet and sour arrival. Even slightly savoury. Coating. Lightly peppery but not hot. Yeah. Light hints of tobacco, golden syrup, stewed apples, hints of raisin, taking me back to that sherry match, or that sherry feel, even though it's not there. Dried apricot. That peated malt doesn't necessarily bring a whole lot to the palate, but I believe, and I think it's pretty obvious, that were it not there, it would be noticeably absent, because it all plays very well balanced. Malt, it's still a single malt, obviously, even though you're mixing two different peated and unpeated, it doesn't make a difference. It's an unaged peated malt, or single malt. Age wise, did I read somewhere 8? I could be wrong. Yeah, it plays along, everything plays along very well and leads into a nice, pleasant, long, clean, flavoursome finish. And there in the finish are the hints of smoke. It leaves that light, bittery tang at the back of your palate, which to me almost reminds me of smoking a cigar, and especially in this case, it leaves that hint of cigar smoke hanging around on the back of the palate. And I don't even necessarily think it's just cigar smoke, I think it's just smoke. I'm going to add a little bit of water, not a whole lot. It can take it. It is 50% ABV. And it does change it. It definitely does. What does it do? Well, it mellows that nose, but it still definitely noses like the sherry influence, even though there isn't. It's rich. It's more oaky. Definitely. It's deep. It's dark, and dare I say, it is brooding. Palate becomes sweeter, it becomes brighter. It not as coating, which I suppose is to be expected because you've just thinned it, but weirdly, those sweeter notes tend to head in different directions now. Strangely feels more oily. Some slight herbal notes, but less peppery. And it still leaves a nice, clean, I'm going to say clean again, finish. It's still a long finish as well. Slight memories. Yeah, slight memories of orange and cinnamon hanging about in the background then, with a touch of water. Yes, it can take water. Yes, I would recommend it. Both ways, I would try it neat, but definitely try a drop of water in it as well. Give it a chance to prove itself. And I think you will be pleasantly surprised with a whiskey that comes in around 45 to 55 pounds for a non-age statement. Yes, a non-age statement, but it's 50%. It's well represented. It definitely holds itself up well, and I would recommend it. If you haven't tried Amrut Fusion, I've only had a couple of Indian whiskies to date, but this one definitely, in my opinion, is a good one. So we'll leave it there. If you like this, it felt, I mentioned nearer the start of the review about Scotch, and it's not just that 25% peated Scotch malt that to me makes this feel like a Scotch whiskey. It just feels like a good Scotch whiskey to me. So it's easy then. It was easy, and I knew where to look because it was somewhere yet again that used that little portions of peated malt as compared to larger portions of unpeated malt. And it was Campbelltown that I went to. And it was this, another bottle, which does need replaced. Oh boy, there are a few of them about now. The Kilkerran 12-year-old. Hard to get sometimes. I mean, you generally, like the rest of us, waiting around for this to reappear again. Just the usual. I mean, I say just the usual. It's all quality, isn't it? What we expect from the Mitchell family there. And it's that body, it's that thickness, but not overly oily or overly waxy or something. It's just really well balanced, really well made. And I would say that of both the Amrut Fusion and of course Kilkerran 12-year-old, they are both, in my opinion, very well made, very good whiskies. So if you like Amrut Fusion, I'm suggesting the Kilkerran 12-year-old, but honestly, if you like the feel of this and you've never had a Campbelltown whiskey, pretty much any Campbelltown whiskey for me has got that feel about it. That very recognisable Mitchell family feel. So if you like Amrut Fusion, I'm going to recommend to you Kilkerran 12-year-old in this instance, or pretty much anything from Glengyle or Springbank. There you go. Yeah, this is the first in this short series, but to me it's a good one to kick off with because it's a good whiskey. I've seen this about for a long time. I'm sure if you haven't had it before, you've seen it about and maybe wondered, what is this all about? It is a good whiskey, and one, I think, priced well, made well. So yes, it gets a Whiskey Novice recommendation easily. There you go. I'm going to leave that one at that. Say thank you very, very much for joining me. Thank you very, very, very much to my patrons. If you wish to join that group, if you should wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below. Till the next time, my friends, here's to your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.